place like Redcastle is made up on the cooperative system, is a club to which a man is admitted upon certain understood conditions. The first of these is that he should be well off. Luckily, you are never likely to put our friends to the test, says Sybil. Of course not. And in the meanwhile, there's no harm in calling them friends. One name does as well as another when you are talking of unrealities. The year has gone, and Marian has not been asked to stay with her Uncle Trenchard, a fact which she resents bitterly and ascribes to double-dealing on the part of Sybil. She has been at Lancaster Lodge tolerably often, but only as Sybil's visitor. And although she accepts all Sybil's invitations, it is almost unbearable to be invited and patronized by a sister. Sybil has established herself as Mr. Trenchard's adopted daughter. He coolly declares that she suits him better than Marian, and that she is to keep his house till she marries. I suppose I must have made myself very disagreeable to him in the 3 months I spent here, remarks Marian one bright April afternoon, digging her croquet ball into the ground with misused energy. She has come to spend the afternoon with Sybil. Oh, no, dear. I don't think it was so bad as that, replies Sybil graciously. But you didn't succeed in making yourself agreeable to him. I know I made myself a perfect slave, complains the injured Marian, toasting his newspapers and running for his slippers and peeling walnuts for him until my fingers were black. I'm sure I don't know what he wants, the nasty old thing. No, really, Marian, I can't consent to hear the best of Uncle's called names. On his own croquet lawn, too. Very much the best of Uncles for you, but give me Uncle Robert. Well, my dear, you got him. Haven't I left you in undisturbed possession of our paternal uncle? All I can say is that it is positive injustice, murmurs Marian as the game proceeds. Frederick Stormont strolls in 5 minutes afterwards and takes a mallet, whereupon the sisters become all smiles and graciousness. He goes in to afternoon tea with them, and they sit on the crimson brocade sofas, sipping orange pekoe out of Indian teacups, waited on by the most accomplished of footmen, and discussing the petty gossip of above and below bar. An empty life, assuredly, but it is pleasant to sit in a handsome room, almost an indoor garden in its abundance of choicest flowers, a sunlit lawn beyond the open window. Pleasant to be dressed in the latest fashion, pleasant to be admired, even though the eyes of the admirer are pale in hue and porcine in shape. Pleasant to feel that in life's eager race, one has shot ever so far ahead of one's younger sister. So at least feels Sybil, as she accepts Mr. Stormont's vapid homage and allows Marian to be useful as her foil. Mrs. Groshen is strictly incorrect in her conjecture about this young man's wooing. Frederick has not been rejected by Mr. Trenchard's niece. He has not yet ventured to propose to her, and when pushed hard upon the subject by his father, he always asks for time. I think she likes me, he says complacently, but by Jove, you know it doesn't do for a man to hurry that kind of thing. You're so impatient, you see. You want a fellow to round the Cape before he's got across the Bay of Biscay. Miss Faunthorpe has a great deal of reserve about her and that kind of thing. And she's just the sort of girl to throw over a fellow who proposed to her before she's quite made up her mind about liking him. She's a long time making up her mind about you, replies the Colonel pensively. And upon my word, you know, Fred, if you don't marry a woman with money, you'll have to do something for yourself. Things can't go on like this much longer. By Jove, you know, you'll have to emigrate. I don't see that there's anything you could do in England. You're too old for the Army or the Navy or the Civil Service. You'll have to try the colonies. I might do something. Kangaroo shooting in New Zealand, said Frederick meditatively. Hang it, sir. A man can't get his living kangaroo shooting, roars the colonel. You'd better marry Trenchard's niece. She's a very jolly girl, says Fred vaguely. He would have called Electra or Antigone, Joan of Arc, or Mary Stuart jolly. He knows no higher praise to bestow on the woman of his choice. End of chapter 13.